Hello everyone. Thank you for attending this demo about release control and showing how release control can be integrated with the ServiceNow. So this is release control. We are in the release train views, showing all the release train already defined. And for the demo, I will create a new one. So let's create a new release train. We have to provide a name for the train. You can add some description here. You have to define the schedule for the train. So by default, there are 4 phases for a train: the planning phase, the development phase, the QA phase, and the go live phase. So I will use the predefined values for those fields. And I create the train. So the train is now created and is empty. So what it means empty? It means that if we want to deploy something in the scope of this train, you have to create release packages. And depending how many applications, how many components do you want to deploy with this train, you can add one or multiple release packages in this train. So let's create one release package belonging to this September train. So when you create a release packages, again, you have to provide a name for the release packages. You can add a description. There is different type for the release packages. So this one is a major one. You can associate these release packages to an application. We can use runbook to use predefined deployment task already defined. So I will use a runbook called ServiceNow. I will show you later the content of this runbook. You have to select the deployment path, so the pipelines of environments that will be used by your release package. So I will use a fast track. So fast track means the release package will go through 2 environments, integration and productions. And that's it. You can create now the release package. So once the release package is created, you can see now on the overview tabs of the train, you can see now there is one release package called September 20 RP release package. You can add another release package for the same application if this application has multiple components, or for another application. Again, it depends what you want to associate to your train. Regarding the train itself, you can define quality gate, you can define milestone as well for this train, but it's not the purpose of this demo. I will just want to go quickly just to show the integration with the ServiceNow. So I can move the train to the next phase. So it means I would like to go to the development phase. So the planning phase is now complete. It means that you have defined the scope of your application belonging to the train. So the scoping phase, the planning phase is completed now. So we can go on development phase. So it means at this moment, the development team will work to implement the new version of the application, and it will deliver a new binaries related to these new applications. So I would say at this moment, nothing happens on the release control solutions, and we are just still waiting new binaries coming from the development teams. And once those binaries will be ready to be deployed into integration and into productions, we can say at the release train level that the development phase is complete, and now we are ready to move into QA phase. So this is the train is in QA phase, and in this QA phase, the release package is ready to be deployed into integration. So let's have a look at the release package itself. So we have several informations. just remind you, we have created this release package from the release train in the planning phase of the train. So there are several information you can see here. The first one, do you remember when we created this release package, we selected the fast track deployment path, and fast tracks means we will go first in integration and then in productions. So if I am the environment manager, I can book the environment before running the deployment on this environment, just to check if there is a conflict with other applications that are currently using this environment. So I can just book the environment and I say, okay, I plan to use this integration environment for this deployment before today, tomorrow maybe, and end of the week. And if I have a conflict, so I have one here, you see here that there is already another deployment that is planned to be deployed in the same time frame. So you can say, okay, I will select another time frame, or you can say it doesn't matter. I can override and I can use the same environment to deploy my application, and I can define who will be the release engineer that will trigger the deployment. So, okay, let's book the integration environment for this deployment. Once this environment is booked, at the release package level, we have, so we find here the information. We have other information at the release package level. So we know the application. So this is Ring to Park Online application. We know the deployment task. So the deployment task comes with a runbook. Do you remember when I created this release package, I selected a ServiceNow runbook, and in this runbook, I have already several predefined tasks. The first one is check ServiceNow request for change status. And this task will be executed only for the production environment. So what it means that before deploying in production, I will check a status of a ticket of a change into ServiceNow, and if this ticket has the expected status, the deployment should be able to start on productions. And I have two other deployment tasks. The first one is deploy my app using deployment automation. So deployment automation is a micro-focus solution allowing you to deploy applications. So I will use this solution, deployment automation, you can see here the tab, to deploy this application into integration and into productions. And in parallel, so you can see sequences, you see here. So in parallel, I will just execute a Jenkins job doing nothing, just an echo, just to show you that we can for sure trigger Jenkins based on the requirement you have. If you are using Jenkins, you can orchestrate a Jenkins call from release control as well. Let's have a look now on the request tabs. So here you can define which ServiceNow object you want to associate to this release package. So let's do it. So for this release package, I would like to associate two ServiceNow incident already defined in ServiceNow. So here, this is a list of provider you can use to integrate with to be integrated with a third-party tool. So let's try to select an incident coming from ServiceNow. So here you can use different filters to search the ServiceNow items, and for instance, as the criteria, you can say, okay, show me all the incident in the in progress status. There is other fields if you need it to execute your search. So let's go directly to find items. So currently, Release Control is browsing ServiceNow to get the list of incidents with the in progress status. So this is all the incidents coming from ServiceNow. So you can select multiple incidents, for instance. and add it to this release package. So it means that deploying this release package should fix those two incidents. So just to add information about the context of your deployment. And, you know, before moving into production, we have to check a status from a specific change in ServiceNow. So from here, from release control, I use the provider to query the changes coming from ServiceNow. And instead of using a search to find an existing change, I can as well use the create items. So it allows me to create an object into ServiceNow. In this context, it will be a request for change, but it can be other kind of object. So it means from release control, you can create as well incident, you can create object articles in the ServiceNow knowledge base, you can create problems, and so on and so on. So it depends which provider you want to use. So creating this request for change into ServiceNow, I have to set different values. So the first one is a short description. So I would say go prod OK for September release package. Yeah. I can define a description as well. Just change go live. I can define other values for instance, for the following attributes. I can specify the reason, for instance. So it should be a software upgrade. I can define the type. So those values come from ServiceNow. Huh? It should be a standard, a category, should be software, the priority, let's say high, the risk. I think there is no risk associated to this. And that's it. So yeah, there are other fields. So it depends the fields you want to fill from release control. And using create and add, it means that this request for change will be automatically created into ServiceNow. So here I can close the request. So you can see here in the request tab all the ServiceNow objects we have associated or we have created in the context of this release package. And if you can have a look on the request for change we have created from release control, you just click here on the name, and following the link, we will go to ServiceNow on the ticket we have just created from release control. So this is a ticket we have just created. So we should see the description we have set. So the ticket is now ready in ServiceNow with the status new. So let's go back to release control. So the requests are now ready, are okay. Now we can have a look on the deployment task. So I remind you those tasks come from the runbook, and you see one is red. This is the RFC. It's red because we have to associate the change we have created just before. So just to do it, just to need to edit the deployment task, select the first one, this one, and just associate the change we have created. And that's it. So now we are ready to deploy this release package to the first environment. So the first environment is the integration environment. So to deploy a release package, we just need to say, okay, the scope of this release package is okay. So I can move to the next step, and the next step is the deployment of this release package. For sure, it can be different. It will be a different persona who accept the scope of the release package and who deploy the release package. So it's why there is two steps here. The first one is to accept the release package, and the next one is to start the deployment. So let's kick off the deployment. And let's have a look on what happened. So if we go to the deployment task tabs, we can see here now the release package is currently deploying, and we can see here the two predefined tasks. So the first one is in progress. So I remind you, it will be a call to deployment automation to execute a deployment of these applications. So I can click on the link, and we should have a look on deployment automation, and to see what happens there. So we see here the deployment is currently running. We are deploying into integration. We are deploying my application ring to Park Online. The name of the server associated to this integration environment is ENT001. We are deploying the version 1.98. And how to deploy this version using deployment automation solution. So we are executing a few elementary steps to deploy this application. The first step is to check the disk space, just to be sure that we have enough space on the system. Then we will download the new application version to the target environment. This application is hosted by a JT server, so we are checking if the JT server is started. If it is started, we stop the JT server. We are deleting few files. We are doing few backup. We restart the JT servers. We can call automated test if needed. In Micro Focus, we have some automated test solution for performance testing, for functional testing, for mobile testing. So we can call those solutions to execute automated test. In this demo, I will update as well Jira, but we can update Octane. This is the same DevOps solution we have in Micro Focus, or we can update another ServiceNow ticket, for instance, so we can do it using the same way as we did it in release control. We can do the same stuff from deployment automation. Then we will check if the application is up and running. And once checked, we will be able to go back to release control with success status, with a deployment success status. So the deployment is over using deployment automation. So let's go back to release control. So we can refresh it. So you see here, deployment is complete. So now the application is ready to be tested into the QA environments. And once the test will be completed, we can say here, okay, the tests are successful or the tests are failed. So in the context of my demo, I would say the tests are successful. So this is some email notification you can set up using release control and using deployment automation. So this is email notification. So let's move to production now. So before moving to production, there is a gate. So as I told you, you can set up different kind of gate. You can define gate at the release train level. You can define gate at the release package level. You can So those gates are implemented into release control. You can implement it gate as well in deployment automations, and for sure you can implement a gate calling ServiceNow. So this is the different demo scenarios I have implemented here. So the first one is it's a quality gate implemented into release control. So here you see we are waiting for an approval. And if you go to the tab approval, you can see here that an approval is pending. So you just need to approve. So this is one of the mechanisms you can use to implement a quality gate. Okay, now I'm ready to deploy into production. I can go back at the train level from here. So for sure, it depends how many release packages are part of your release train. In my demo scenario, I have only one release package, so I can see that our release package is ready to be deployed into production, And if you have multiple packages, you can see here in one glance what are the different status for all the release packages belonging to your train. And at the train level, I can say, okay, now the train is ready to move into production. So it means as a release manager, for me, it's okay to move into production. So I move the train to productions. And moving the train to production, there are two kinds of behavior you can implement with release control. The first one is to trigger all the deployment for all the release packaging belonging to the train simultaneously. So it means that the release train will trigger all the deployment into production for all the release packaging belonging to the train. This is the first behavior you can set up with release control. And the next one is just to move the train into production and go on each release package to execute the deployment at the release package level. So this is the second behavior you can implement using release control, and this is this one I will show you now. So now the release package is ready to be deployed into productions. So let's start the deployment. And so I will use the same deployment solution, so deployment automation, to execute the deployment. But you see, I have defined one step before executing this deployment using deployment automation. This is a check request for change status. So you see here, the first one is running as in progress. And here we are waiting for a specific status of my ServiceNow change. And the status we are waiting is scheduled. So until the status of this change is not scheduled, release control is still waiting for this status. So if you go back to ServiceNow, on the change, so this is the change we have created from release control. Do you remember when we have initiated the release package? And you see the status is new, so we have to move to schedule in ServiceNow. When I move to schedule, there is one mandatory field, this one. So let's select application development group for this and move to schedule. So it means on ServiceNow, you can see now the state of the request, of the change request we have created from release control is now scheduled. And if we go back to release control, we should see that now the deployment into production has started. Go to deployment task. And you see here now the status check is completed. And now we are ready to execute the deployment using deployment automation. So this is again new email notification. Let's have a look on what happened in deployment automation to execution of the deployment. And we see that, as I told you just before, you can implement as well an approval on deployment automation side. So it's just to show you that you can as well implement a quality gate on DA, on deployment automation. So you see the deployment is not started, he's waiting for an approval. I have defined here two kinds of approval, one asking for the product owner to approve the deployment into production, and one other one asking for the environment manager. Okay, for sure those approvals are not mandatory, so it depends how do you set up deployment automation. And now the deployment is running. So as for the integration environment, you see now you are deploying into production. You see the name of the server is different. It's prod 003. We're still deploying the same version of my application, N198. And if you have a look on all elementary steps we will use to execute this deployment, we will use more or less the same deployment process, checking first the disk space on the target servers, checking the status of the JT server. So we see here failed, so it means the JT server was not running. So we don't need to stop it. So we are deleting few files again. We are doing some backup activities. We are starting the JT server again. You can define some sleep step. And now we are updating Jira, and as I mentioned earlier, we can as well update Octane or ServiceNow. It depends the process you want to implement. So let's wait the end of this deployment into production environments before going back to release control. So now the deployment is complete into using deployment automation. And if we go back to release control and use refresh, we can see the new status of the release package. Again, email notifications. So we see now the release package is in deployment complete state. And now we can go back to the train. And we can say at the train level that, okay, the deployment for this train is completed. So it means that all release packages belonging to this train are successfully deployed into productions. Completed. So with release control, so the deployment is over. So we can have a look here on the timelines, and we should see our train. It was a September train we have created for this demo. So this is the September train here. We have some information about all the release activities. So we provide different dashboards, providing visibility about how many packages we have in ready to deploy state, what are the different type of the packages, how many deployment failed, what are the different status of the train, and so on and so on. So out of the box, we provide about 100 reports you can aggregate using dashboards. So you have here, for instance, another dashboard showing you the overdue the overdue quality gate or the overdue milestones. We have the same stuff here for the release packages, just to check the status and to compare the planification deployment versus the actual date to see if those deployments are behind of the schedules. So we have this kind of reports, and if we go to the release train level again, I show you before the timeline, but we provide as well a kind of calendars showing you for each train when they move to QA, when they move to productions. So we have the same kind of information for release packages that are the elements belonging to the train, and you can filter by owner, you can filter by state, and just to have visibility about all the releases you want to deploy using release control. So that's it for this demo showing how release control can be integrated with ServiceNow. So thank you for attending this video.